Joining us tonight on Sunday Sports Extra is Oregon volleyball coach Jim Moore. Jim, you guys are undefeated to start the season, 12-0, 2-0 in the Pac-12, ranked highly. What has been the key for this, the start to the season for you guys, and did you expect to have this kind of team?
That's the one question that is hard for me to answer. Yeah. Honestly, no. Well, I can't say that. I can't say that I didn't think we could be 12-0 at this point in time, but I'm surprised at some of the things we're doing. I'm surprised that our hitting efficiency is as high as it is, and we're difficult to stop. That's kind of what made us as good as we were in 2012. Not that we're at that level right now. We don't have one single person. The key, which you asked, is that we have great balance. I mean, we're running a 6-2, so we have two setters. So there's 3 hitters in the front row all the time. And so we have 6 hitters that can all put the ball on the floor, and it's impossible right now to key on one person. So it makes it very difficult to defend us. And so far it's working, but so far that's been the key.
You finished up a 3-0 week, and midweek beat the Beavers in the Civil War, and that more significant than just a rivalry win, because with that win you became Oregon's all-time winningest coach in school history. What does that mean to you?
It means I've been here for a little bit. You know, everybody asks me, and I really do mean that it has. I don't want to completely deflect and say it has nothing to do with me, but there's so many people that are involved with this. Obviously, first and foremost are the players. Yeah. We've had basically I've said we've been fortunate to get great players. The first year I was here, we were 1-17 in the Pac-10 at the time, and I'm the same guy. And the next year we get in the NCAA tournament, and it was because Sonia Newcomb showed up, and Natisha and Essie, and you know, here's 2 All-Americans that show up the next year as freshmen, and those seniors that year did an unbelievable job of turning that around, and it had to do with the players. And so since then, and then obviously, you know, the first credit has to go to my wife as well, who is my assistant coach, and assistant coach has been there, Tina Johnson-Lockhart, who was here, and now Matt Ulmer. We've had a great staff and great players and great support, and so there's so many things that go into building a program that it's you know, it's not me, it's all of us got that record. When Stace gave me a hug, it's hard for her because she could be doing, and she is the head sand coach, and she's doing all those things. She said, and it's difficult, she said congratulations, and I said congratulations to her because it's as much her as it is me. You mentioned when you came about a decade ago, the program was not where it is now, and you talked about a little bit getting the good players in, and that obviously is a key. If you bring All-Americans to Eugene, then it's going to be a successful program. How did you do that? How did you come in a decade ago, first season, 1 win in the Pac-12, and convince these type of caliber of players to come to Eugene and build this program with you? Well, that's a great question. Obviously, the things that the entire department has done has made it incredibly successful. There was a change, and we were fortunate enough to be able to identify some people that other people didn't think would be as good. Sonia Newcomb didn't have one single offer in the Pac-10 at the time, and I think she made some people pay for that. She's certainly one of the best players in the world right now. So she was a huge part of that, and Tisha Nessie is the same way. She was from the Oregon area near the Dalles, and so near the Portland area. And we had that opportunity to bring them in, but it's faith, and that's them having the faith in me, thinking that we could turn that around. It was them just diving in and saying we have an opportunity to create something that nobody else has been able to create, and that's fun. And I think, you know, Sonia to this day, she knows that Oregon volleyball is as much her as anybody.
Getting back to the current state of the program, you mentioned your wife, Stacy Metro, who's in charge of the sand volleyball program. You guys went through your first season, sand volleyball last spring. What has that done to the program? Can you see concrete positive effects that are showing in this 12-0 start?
You know, it's hard. It's a good question. the person, it's so, everybody's going to think I'm out of my mind, because the person that I've seen that might have helped the most is Nia Crittenton, who she would tell you she wasn't very successful in sand, but she was forced to be out there where she had to handle the ball. And it didn't show up right away, even in the spring and winter and spring when we were on the sand and we were together, but it has showed this indoor season where she's had to handle the ball, and now she can sort of play volleyball. A year ago, it was just so hard for her because of her experience in club and high school was so limited that she couldn't make it happen. And now she's had an opportunity to make that happen. I think that's helped her. She'd be the first one to go, I'm not so sure that's the case, because she struggled a lot. But I think that helped her a good amount.
12-0 start to the season. It gets a lot tougher on Friday, going to Stanford, the #1 ranked team in the country. Huge game. It's going to be on ESPNU, nationally televised game on Friday night in the Bay Area. Looking at that game and your opponent, Stanford, what are you guys going to have to do to knock off the #1 team in the country?
Play incredibly well. Yeah. They are the #1. They deserve to be the #1 team in the country. They beat Penn State early in the year. They are well balanced with a lot more experience than we have. We're going to have to pass. We're going to have to serve. We're going to have to play exceptionally well to compete. But we'll be there. That's one thing for sure. We'll show up and we're going to be there. And it's about executing. The reality is, we played a very difficult match against Colorado last night, and most people thought, well, that's a match that we're just going to win. And it's not the case. Cal, who we play after Stanford, took Washington, who won the Pac-12 basically last year against a Stanford team that's pretty much intact, and perhaps even better last year, and Washington's intact. They took them to 5. And so everybody in the Pac-12 this year, it is out of control. If you basically kind of take an RPI ranking, everybody in the Pac-12 is ranked in the top 40. So anybody can beat you. And I know coaches say that all the time, but this is without question the most parity we've ever had in the conference from top to bottom.
Biggest match of the season for you guys so far on Friday against Stanford. Oregon volleyball, 12-0 to start the season. Head coach Jim Moore, thanks for joining us on Sunday Sports Extra.
Thanks so much.